So we have that. We go live. So Sandro Ferrante. We use the real name,
Yes.
Ferrante, the Italian name, but
My
people
name is
know.
Sandro Ferrante, yes.
People know you as Sandro Fur.
Yes.
That's what it is. One
Coach
of the
Fur,
big
yeah.
Coach Fur in TriStar, and
Yes.
we have Ariel Gallagher, who is, from what you told me, which I was shocked, first ever K1 Women's Champion to come out of TriStar,
Yeah.
which is
Took
It's
a
an
lot
honor.
of hard fucking
Yeah.
work, a lot of losing, a lot of just grinding it the hell out, just trying to make sure I'm training harder than everyone else. And
yeah.
eventually, if you stick to it, the results will be there.
But that's insane because you have like so many champions, especially you could say whenever you want to interject. There's so many champions that came out of TriStar. So when you told me like, yeah, she's the first ever K1 champ, I'm like, wow, like that's, from women's sport that happened like what, like about 5 years ago, like women's MMA started
Yeah.
getting big, and then now you guys are coming on. Like TriStar is just picking up their game, especially you that now, you're so young in your career.
Yeah.
Like regardless how it finishes, like you're a pioneer for TriStar. Which is
And-
pretty insane.
That's it. Is
Yeah.
when I first started, there was this great big banner on the wall of all the guys in their belts and everything. I always thought it was a great picture, looked real great, and I'm just thinking, looking, I'm like, I've never heard of a single female champion of any sport coming out of this gym. And
no.
I was looking, I was like, that bitch is gonna be me, man. Just watch. And I pushed, I worked my fucking ass off. I ignored everyone. I was a little loner, just grinding it out, and eventually I made it happen.
Yeah, like I saw her about 2.5 years, like about 2.5 years ago. She walked in the gym, and like I can say, like I can tell, like when there's raw talent.
Yeah.
Like she came in, she minded her own business, no drama. Yeah, and she came in to do one thing, is to train and hit the bag. So I saw her wailing on the bag. I said, like there's a fire, like there's a spark there. So I approached her, like if I remember right.
A few
And,
times.
and like I told her, listen, like if you need a striking coach, like a strategist, and if you want to start competing, feel free, like we could start to work together. And she took it upon herself. She goes, all right, no problem, let's do it. And like I said it to me before, I made it clear, we'll lose together, we'll win together,
Yeah.
you'll have setbacks, but if you stick to your guns, you'll get results.
That's it.
You'll probably win a couple of belts, you'll probably become professional, you'll get known around, especially now it's easy because of social media,
Yeah.
but don't lose track of what you want. And that's why, I'm sticking around, and she's sticking around, because from what I can see is that she doesn't give a shit about the fame, the being
Yeah.
the first girl from TriStar to be an amateur K1 champion. She doesn't give a shit. So that's
Yeah.
something which in today's day and age I find is rare, because now there's everybody that wants instant gratification. It's like, oh, like I want to train a TriStar coach, like I want to fight.
Yeah.
Do you have some experience? Oh no, but I'm tough. Okay, well let's get you going. Oh, but I want to fight next week. Not happening. Oh, but I want to spar. Not happening.
Yeah.
There's procedures, there's steps to this. You got to train, you got to show up to class. You got to show me the martial arts aspect to it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people today, my opinion again, because of the mixed martial arts craze, everybody's a fighter. Everybody's
Yeah.
an MMA fighter, but nobody's a martial artist.
Exactly.
So the martial arts aspect, I think, is dying down because of the mixed involved.
Sure.
So when you get that martial artist, which comes in with that mindset, integrity, loyalty, hard work, not afraid to lose. They don't have to be afraid to lose. Strong mindset, boom. From there,
Absolutely.
like you can work with that shit. That's how I look at it. As a coach, like that's how I see it.
So you guys picked it up. He came up to you. You guys had it, and then since then, 2 years, you got into many fights, many title challenges that some of
Yeah.
them you came up short, and then you finally now became the champ there. So, a lot of people want that glory story. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, GSP when he was champ and all that.
Too
But-
fast.
Exactly. But you went down. You were there. Got a setback. You came back again, and there's a setback. At that point, that's kind of like a dark era for fighters. When you go kind of like on a losing streak. That's the most difficult thing about a fight, like how you get back on it.
And I went through that a lot last year. I went through a little period where it was a bit of that, and I kind of felt like I was going through a bit of a rough patch, and it was a little discouraging. Then I took a couple months off. I was still training, but I just wasn't trying to book fights or anything over the summer. Part of that was I needed the little mental break from it. but also I just had other things I was trying to do for a little bit. I have to plug in the squirrels in every conversation. I foster orphan squirrels, so I spent a lot of time last year doing that
Okay.
because it was actually quite time consuming. But after I came back from my break, I felt so much better, and ever since it seems like I've been making nonstop improvements and everything. So it definitely, and I knew going through that little rough patch. It's like it's not the first fucking rough patch I've ever been through. Like fighting. That's why I don't get nervous for fights. I don't give a shit about crowds. Like I'm not worried going into a fight because like there's a fucking ref. Like nothing bad is going to happen. Like I've been through some like actual shit. So.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't anything to really be worried about. So, as much as the rough patch sucked, I knew it wasn't going to last, because it never does. So, I was like, alright, well, it just means I need to take a little mental break, reassess some shit, figure myself out a bit, and then I'll be able to come back. I knew once I took that time off, I would be able to come back and be better and be able to focus more and stuff. And I've been fighting nonstop since, and I've been having good results, and got more fights coming up real soon. Training for marathons now, I'm just grinding it every day possible. I'm trying to keep it at least 10K a day. So.
Jesus. So when you came back from that mental break, how many fights have you had since then?
There's three, 4.
Don't ask me.
So I came back. I started training, really training for a training camp again in the September for the November fight. I had the title fight then for the Muay Thai belt. And then a month later, I had my title fight out in Drummondville. Mm-hmm. And then the 2 months later, I had my third title fight in a row. Yeah. And that's when I won that one. And then I was supposed to fight again since then, but it fell through and everything. But got a handful more coming up, so I'm not too worried about it. So
yeah, it's hard it's hard to book her because a lot of fighters at her weight at 115, the mistakes we did in the beginning was that we accepted fights at 120, 122, 125 because there wasn't a lot of females which were really real 115ers. So the thing is we accepted fights at 120, 118, and we had legit female competitors which made that weight, but before that it's they used to make the weight 116 and then they walked in at 127 or at 126 or at 125. Yet she walks around at 117, 118. She makes weight 115. So she's a real true 115er. So it's really hard to match her up. So when I find girls from Quebec City, girls from the West Side, wherever that are real true 115ers, it's hard because social media shows too much information, and that's why I'm gonna stop posting shit about her. Because a week before the fight, we were supposed to fight March 9th, going to Quebec City. And 3 days before, I get a call from the promoter in Quebec City saying, your opponent just pulled out. And we get it. There's injuries, there's this, that, but at the end of the day it's come on, man,
I was
I get
too.
that
I don't give a shit.
I get that happens. It's not an easy sport. Some people train the wrong way. Some people train too hard and they get injured. I get that. 2-3 days before, I doubt it. It's sometimes you gotta fight March 9th, and you've been told this a month and a half ago. So the coaching staff, the people that booked her for the fight, should know better. So they should keep an eye on her. That's how I see it. And so. Sometimes we have fallouts like that, which is a pain in the ass for her because she trains and she keeps on training, and then I'm there, Ariel, we are not going to Quebec. Fuck. So then she has to eat her chocolate again, So she's
hell yeah.
fuck that. I need my cake now.
First thing I did.
So yeah, it's a task to try to get good fights at 115, exactly the 115 mark. See, now we're trying to prep her, well, not prep her, we're trying to book her at the Fight Quest K1, March 30, because she's always been training. So
there's no stopping in training camp. When you're in a training camp, it's an ongoing
stay active.
Okay.
So even if she won that belt, I want her to stay active. Win, lose, or draw, I couldn't give a shit.
Yeah.
As long as she stays active. But what the problem is I need the promoters to work with me going, listen, 115er, 116, 117 max. But don't tell me, yeah, like they're gonna make weight, and then I look him up, and the girl walks around on 127, 125. It's not happening.
Yeah.
You know, like she might be better skilled, tougher, stronger, but 10 pounds or 8 pounds or even 5 pounds makes a fucking difference,
Yeah.
man. You know, like in the third round, you're fatigued and you get those extra pounds of punching
Yeah,
power,
hurt.
kicking. Like it could injure like my fighter. So now, like I'm gonna be a bit anal about it. So when like there'll be fights, I gotta make it a legit 115er.
And you guys ever think about going up in weight? Even though like you're a natural 115, do you think it would help, or like for you like it's like being like a strategist, like seeing that maybe there'll be an advantage of you going up, because you see a lot of fighters now going up a weight class, they feel a bit better or whatnot, or you guys still sticking to 115? That's gonna be
We kind of started off that way. I was just taking all the fights that were too big for me because I couldn't find anything else, and I didn't give a
Okay.
shit. I just wanted to fight. I didn't care who
Yeah.
it was.
But that wasn't the smart thing to do. But she knows what that feels like now. So when she fought a real 115er, well, look at the results. Like the
Yeah.
results are getting there because she's strategist. She works her distance control. She works her timing, her conditioning. But when you're going up against somebody that's 10 pounds heavier, in the third or fourth or fifth round, the
Dawns on-
fatigue
yeah.
sets in. So she'll be as quick as she wants, but in those rounds, you're slowing down. You're weaker. So those 5 pounds like gonna make a difference. So never again.
So when you're training camp, 115 very very light. Let's say when you're sparring yourself, like who are you choosing? Are you specifically choosing who she spars against? Like especially you guys talking about before you guys have your team, when Yanis, when you guys have an upcoming team coming up, it's still
Yeah.
rising. Do you choose like, hey, well, you're gonna train with this guy or this girl like continuously, or you know you see in the class, okay, you know, come in and do some rounds.
Yeah, I keep it pretty casual. I kind of spar with whoever. Like, I'll plan some sparring with some, like, friends from the gym and stuff, but for the most part, it's like, I'll go into sparring, and then I just kind of, like, stand my own, all right, tell me who you want next.
Okay.
And he'll just pick out of the fucking group. He's like, all right, you're gonna be the sacrifice this time, here, go.
Yeah.
You know, so the thing is when like we're just sparring to spar, like I wanted to go with people that are quicker, faster, stronger.
Okay.
So then she gets used to that pressure. She gets used to the guys which are about her weight, you know,
Yeah.
and like we have guys which are 125ers too, but that come from overseas. I mean, sometimes like
Yeah.
because we got a shitload of people, you know, like there's guys that come in like for a week, like they stay at the TriStar dorms. You know, like I can name you like there's some guys that are from Switzerland, Sweden,
Yeah.
like from Slovakia. You know, like we have people from all over. So some people want the experience of TriStar. So they come in, they pay the dorms. Some people stay for a month. Some people stay for 6 weeks. Some people stay for a week. So I get to pick and choose. Like, hey, look, like how much you weigh? 125. So I see that he's a smart sparring partner, because some guys are dumb as hell. Like
Yeah.
some guys don't like to get punched by a girl. So like some of them get aggravated and you see that it's not professional, so they want to injure her. The thing is I want to work with professionals so they know like that they're going to make her work hard without injuring her. You know,
Yeah.
because it's easy to throw a crazy head kick, you know, but
Yeah.
like I want the guys to make her move, to give pressure, you know, to work her defense, her
Exactly.
motion. So when the guys do that, she has some pretty good hard sparring rounds, but smart ones, you know, not guys that are gonna try to kill her. It
Yeah,
doesn't make
exactly.
sense.
So we're talking like just picking out professionals. You guys trying to get in our fight March 30th for Fight
For
Quest,
fight
Fight
request.
Request.
Trying, yeah,
So
and in April. Like,
and in
we're trying to
April,
get
you
something.
guys are doing a lot of things for the end of the year. Now, where do you see, especially that you're making a path for her career? You don't care who you fight. When is the move, especially in your case as part of your career?
Yeah.
When is the right move from the amateur to pro? That leap, that jump. When do you think it's ready? And probably for you, I think your answer would be like you don't care. You just whenever it's game time, it's game time.
That's it. When
So-
I always look at it as it'll come when it comes,
Yeah.
sort of thing. Like, for me, I'm never gonna stop feeling like, yeah, but I could do better, or I could get better before going that next step or something. But it's because for me, I'm a perfectionist. I overanalyze everything. I'm not the kind of person who I just want to go pro because I want to be able to walk around and tell people I'm a pro. I don't
Yeah.
give a fuck.
You see, like
I just want to be able to go in there and fight like a pro. I don't
Yeah.
want to be going in there and fight like an amateur, calling myself a pro.
Yeah.
So it's the same as when I took my first fight. I didn't even ask for it. I just wait until I'm told that I'm ready.
See, like how I see it now maybe some other coaches think otherwise, but we got to sit down and talk. I got to be a human about it. You
Yeah.
know, like there's some coaches which have their coaching styles and say this is how it is, this is how it's gonna go. I think I bring a human type aspect to it. Like she, at the end of the day, like she's a human being.
Yeah.
So like we got to sit down and chat. You know, like if her life is in check, like if her health is in check, if she's mentally in check with like you feel comfortable now, like let's do this. And at the end of the day, she's gonna represent TriStar, which is a world renowned gym. So I gotta talk to the head honcho, which is Firaz. So like I gotta sit down with Firaz. Listen, we cleared up the amateur division. She has 2-3 belts now. She's been a competitor. She's been here for 3 years now, and you know, like she's, you know, I think she's ready. So then he's gonna take a look, like when they chit chat with her, look like on the human side to it, and let's do it. You know, that's, you know, because that's what makes a team strong. It's not like, oh well, I think she's ready. No, like she's gotta think she's ready. The head coach is gotta give the okay because it's his banner that's gonna be there.
Yeah.
So that's what, like, I have arguments with some people that come out of nowhere and they're like, Coach, like, I want to represent TriStar. Well, like, you got to eat a lot of vegetables, I mean, before representing us. You know, like, you can't just come in there, train 2 weeks, and just book yourself a fight and wear the TriStar shirt. No fucking way. Like, that's not how it works. We're a world-renowned gym, so, like, I'm not going to corner you just because you're athletic. You have to show me what you did in the gym. Seriousness and, like I said before, the martial arts aspect. If you show me that you're punctual, you have integrity, you're loyal, of course, and you're a hard worker, good. That's already the great traits. Best example, George St. Pierre, man. You know, George is the best example that we could use. You know, it's like he came with all those martial arts traits. Some guys come in, they got athletic skill. My God, like you see them jump around the gym like crazy, flipping, kicking bags, going nuts. They looking great. How are they gonna do right under those lights? How are they gonna do when it's crunch time? Say, hey, listen, in 10 minutes, you're up. Let's do it.
Let's go.
It's a whole different thing, man. It's the same, but it's different.
Yeah.
Got it.
I loved it though. When I used to fight, I used to love that, man. Unfortunately, you know, God didn't give me proper stuff, but like it was always fun, man. A lot of people, especially when you fought and doing pads with you, which was amazing because
Thank you.
I started understanding when you were fighting, doing pads with you. I'm like, fuck, like there's something to your style, like it corresponds to each other. Like you talk a lot about chaos, entering chaos and relaxing and not, you know, repetition.
Don't
or something.
overthink.
Yeah, a lot of things you're saying, like don't repeat. Even though you're doing a double jab straight with a hook, don't make it you're stiff and you're just going with the combination. Then when we see you fight, you're aggressive, but you're throwing combination, not just throwing just a swing. You're throwing combinations. Yeah. So when you're working with him and you're working with the pads and you're working on a training camp, you know what do you see that's always better in every training camp with your striking? Like what's like that key aspect? Because like a lot of coaches don't go with that. They try to say like get away from chaos, right? Like get away from there. You embrace it.
Calm in chaos.
That's it, and then you embrace it.
I want you to get in
chaos. You want it or not.
Like I want you to get in chaos because you got to stay calm in it.
Yeah.
Because a fight, listen, fighting, you don't play fighting, and I'm not the first one. I'm gonna say this. You don't play fighting. Yeah. It's not like playing tennis. You're fighting. Like somebody wants to give you injuries, like they want to hurt you, so you got to embrace that discomfort. You got to you're uncomfortable in that, and when you learn to get comfortable in that discomfort, stay calm in chaos. Like I love to say that word because it is chaotic. So you can't stop and go, okay, I'm gonna throw a jab across a hook, I'm gonna step. No, it doesn't work that way. It's gotta be instinctive. So how her training goes is I change it up all the time. So I pressure her, I wait for her. I step up. I throw her bombs. I throw her speed. I wait. I pivot. I hesitate. So she has to adapt to that situation. And a fight is like you've been in fights.
Yeah.
It's like that. It's like you can't. But there are game plans because that's what we do. Like, we got to study. But you got to be ready for it. You know, like you got to make it ugly when it's time to make it ugly. Like you got to make it strategic when it's time to make it strategic. That's what's beautiful about martial arts.
And that's kind of the funny thing about it too, is because he pushes you really hard to learn how to fight in that chaos, but it's not because he's trying to overwhelm you. It's he's trying to force you to learn how to calm down in those situations, how to compose yourself. Especially me being someone who I'm pretty quiet and everything, but I've also got a really short temper, and I get really fucking pissed pretty easily. So, and he knows it. And he'll be pushing and pushing. He can see I'm starting to get really frustrated, really pissed off.
Yeah, like
and then
I
that's
do it
when
on
he
purpose.
smacks me. He's like, "Calm the fuck down. Pay attention. What are you doing? You're pissed off. All right, well, think about it. What do you have to do?" So it's really good to have someone like that to work with, because it doesn't take much for me to cross that line because I have a very short temper. So to have someone who is actually kind of mentally conditioning me to know how to handle myself in that situation is a big part of the training, I find, because my head is probably one of the things I struggle with the most. I know my body can handle it. Like, I've got a lot of health problems, but, like, my body can take the fucking abuse. My body can take the abuse other people give it, that I give it and everything. But my head is where I sometimes struggle, because I get overwhelmed pretty easily sometimes, but working with him, it's like, well,
No
here's the
choice.
fucking
Yeah.
chaos, man.
No
Like,
choice.
what are you gonna do?
Deal
The
with
fuck
it.
are you gonna do?
Deal with it.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I heard from Faraz. Actually, the saying was that the fight game, it's 90% mental and 10% physical.
It's
Yeah.
Just like you said.
It's
just-
100% that, like, a lot of people come in with athletic skill. I'm like, I told you, because we get to see a lot of different people, like, every week at TriStar. And we tell them, listen, like, it's how to win. You could be a great fighter, but you got to know how to win. Because at the end of the day, like, it's the results. It's how do you win. The guy could give me 3 great rounds, but there's 2 rounds left. How do we win? It's, but coach, like, I give a great high kick. Coach, like, I beat him up, like, for 3 rounds. There's 2 rounds left. How do we win? Stay composed, relax, wait for him to get tired. That's how we put it in the bag. But that comes with experience, with fighters, Like, of course, like, I'm there to just remind them, Like, I'm not there to say, do this, do that. I just remind them and say, how do you fucking win? How? Okay, go, do it. So the body's going to respond to it, You don't think. In chaos, it's no thinking. It's instinct. Like, I make this joke, like, at the gym often. Like I tell them, for that hour, I think I told you that too. Like I said, for this hour, it's the only time of the day that I tell people not to think.
Yeah.
I tell people,
It's amazing. I'm like, I love that hour. Great.
For 1 hour, don't think, don't overthink, don't anticipate, don't hesitate. Just do what the body tells you to do. Relax.
He'll be fucking pushing and then gives you a smack upside the head. Stop thinking.
I'm like, what the hell?
Well,
It's
because
true, though,
chaos.
it's true.
Well, look, like, I say this too, like, in sometimes in my pad work. Like, I make jokes too, because, like, we got to keep, like, a sense of humor, like, doing it. So I said, do you think when you blink? Do you think when you breathe? No, you don't. It's instinctive. So imagine if you would think, like, okay, like, I'm going to blink now. Okay, I'm going to breathe now. Holy shit, like, you're going to go insane. So fighting for me is something not which I came up with. Through trial and error, through all my Kyokushin knockdown tournaments, and through hours of being in solitude, like in gyms. So I was fortunate to find that. Going, how am I going to win, like, my next Kyokushin tournament? How am I going to beat this big guy? Like, how am I going to beat this strong guy, So, like, I used to be in solitude all by myself, wait till after class, and think this out. Because the tools were there, like her, like all of the fighters which I work with. You guys could throw hella kicks, good punches, you're strong as hell. But find that way to win. That's how I see it.
But that's a great thing about you, because you were doing these knockdown fights, which is a lot. It's not common. A lot of people weren't in those tournaments and in those cases, and you coming from that, teaching her how to do it. Because when I was seeing you fight, you're very aggressive. It's like a non-stop, continuous pace throughout the whole fight, and it's crazy to see. And you see, like you're doing with Chaos, a lot of different combinations, and you see a lot of not to bash anybody, but you see a lot of, like, upcoming people, like you say, athletes. You have athletic people coming in. They're just looking for, right, going for a straight overhand. a high kick, that one shot to
There's
end the
fighters
fight. You
and
know what I
then
mean?
there's athletes. And
Exactly.
nowadays I find there's many more athletes than fighters, but the athletes are great. Like I love to work on it with athletes.
Yeah.
But you got to pick which athletes. Why? Because
That's it.
then you got to see the athlete which is going to give that extra push and which is not going to be afraid to stick in chaos in the last rounds. I'm not saying to go to chaos all the time. You know,
Yeah.
like that's not a smart way to fight.
Mhm.
But what I'm saying is to embrace it. If it's there, embrace
Yes,
it.
yeah.
There's not many fighters left. Look at guys like Mir Sadbektik. That's a fighter.
Yeah,
That's a
yeah,
fighter.
That guy
But
is sick.
being with Firaz now, he became a strategist, a great
Okay.
game plan. Has a great boxing coach, Coach Chuck, which is amazing.
Yeah.
But Mirsad is one of those old school souls with a new school type strategy. And Mirsad will throw down with you, man. And then, like, I can name you guys like Nazarat. There's guys like Jeremy Stevens. There's guys,
There's all killers.
you know, there's guys like Kyle Crash Bochniak, which I had, you know, the honor to work his pad work too. I mean, when he prepared for Zabit, where he prepared like for the fight right after Zabit.
Could be, yeah.
But holy shit, like if you look at this guy fight, heart is nothing, like that's not a problem. You know, so if you get the proper strategy with these guys, with the fighter mentality and firearm that they have, like these guys, you'll be hearing more about Mirsad very soon. Like you'll be hearing about Nazarat, like you'll be hearing about Kyle Crash Bochniak. You know, like you'll be hearing guys of Miles Fury Jury. You know, like I can name you names
yeah.
which I've worked with in the past, and I could say that I was blessed, like to touch such talent. You know, like
Yeah.
even as a coach, like we learn from these guys too. So I
Sick.
take from these guys too. So the thing, but I like to work with these type of warriors. Why? Because there's not many left now. There's a lot more athletic guys, and they're
Yeah,
great
yeah.
fighters. But a lot of them want us to do this. They want to win by points. They want to keep the guy on the ground a long time. Okay, like I won this round. It's like they're playing too safe.
Yeah.
I get it. You know, that's where I think I fit well with Firaz, because Firaz is such a strategist that he knows how to
Yeah.
win. And I'm more that, okay, Sandro, like we gotta light a fire up this guy's ass. You know,
And
so
then pop.
you know, so like the fire's lit up, okay, lit chaos. Oh, okay, now back to strategy. Okay, chaos now. Okay, back to strategy, chaos. So I guess I think like I said, you know, like
That gives her a lot of confidence, though,
Yeah, of
because
course.
you touching all these players, you're seeing them fight with your own experience. That gives you more confidence. Well, at the end of the day, your confidence already with him is from day one is already there.
Yeah.
But seeing that he's been working with so many guys, knows how to play every single integer of the fight game, which is super complex. If you could dive into it, he's your guy. The confidence is just on a different level for you.
See, look, like I can say, like I'm still a student of the fight game because I'm open-minded. Because I guess I still consider myself a martial artist because I'm alongside some great coaches, and of course I'm gonna mention Firas Sahabi. Why? Because he is one of the great minds like in mixed martial arts. So when I'm alongside him, like in pro sparring or just on his Thursday morning striking classes, I listen in like a martial artist, not as a coach. So I observe, I sit back, I watch, I check, I look, you know. So I guess being an open book, I'm gonna still continue to learn and learn and learn. I'm not one of those coaches which like I'm pretty sure like a lot of us know and a lot of us see, you know, that have their typical way of doing things. It's like this and that's how it's gonna go. No, man. Like I'm 43 years old now, man, and I'm still a student of the fight game. You know, like not many can, you know, like not
I
many.
can say that.
I fucking hate saying I'm in my age, but I'm proud to say one thing is that I'm still learning every fucking day. Like if I could take some from Firaz, I'll do it all the time. Like I'll do it every day. Like if I have to. If I take some from Conrad Pla, I will. I am the one that's gonna ask him questions. You know, so some people take it as like, oh yeah, but he's a coach, yeah, but I keep on improving. You're still stagnant. I'm not.
Especially with your team, that's like we were talking before. We were talking a lot before, and especially the team that you guys are growing with you, with Giannis, with Katuma, and you guys having this power bond, which a lot of camps, you know, you could put down the list. How many camps have that? Those friends that you train in the gym with, and you guys just grow with. Like that's an incredible thing to see, and a lot of fighters don't have that as much anymore.
No, and It's nice too to be able to see, because I know just from my own experience working with them, like I see the results there. I see the improvements. Like I have no doubt that he works well as a great coach and everything. But then you see those other fighters like Yanis, like Katuma, and everyone else he works with. You see the progress they're going through as well, and it's like you already know for yourself that his method works. But then you see it working with all these other people too,
Yeah.
and it's like that it goes back to like just having a little loyalty, a little faith, and realizing you're not always gonna win. And
You will lose.
Yeah,
it's gonna happen.
You're a fucking
Life
human,
sucks,
like.
you know.
But
You're gonna lose one
but if you
fight.
stick with it together, you'll see those benefits over time. You will see the progress. You'll see the rewards for it. It's like you can bounce around every fucking gym you want. You can bounce between every fucking coach you want. At the end of the day, if you lose, it's because your ass went in there and failed, not the coach.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, whether you win or lose, that coach is still there, still behind you, he's still supporting you. So if you're the kind of person to get fuck off and bail because you just can't admit the fact that like sometimes you fucking are gonna lose, well, don't expect to get too far. Like there's something to be said about loyalty and establishing a good team, a good like family of people around you, because then it's like, I'm never left wondering like, well, like I got this fight coming. Is like, am I gonna get taken care of? Is my team gonna be there for it? It's like I fucking know they are.
Yeah.
I know I'm taken care of. I know I'll be as prepared as I can be. I know come fight night, my support will be there. Like, it's nice to have a situation where I don't have to question anything. It's like what I need. I'm gonna have it. Like, so it's good. It's nice to see now too. Just we're all kind of like at that point now where those results are really starting to show. So I'm excited. I feel like we're just at the cusp of something really great, and I'm excited to see what happens in the next few years. I think there's gonna be some big things happening.
It's like you're saying, like the crew and the way you're speaking too, like you're just happy you go to the gym, like you're just content with what you have.
It's the
you
process.
Feel better.
That's the most enjoyable part. Everybody, I don't know. I don't get this idea of like, I just want the success. I want the attention. I don't want no fucking attention. I don't want anyone knowing my goddamn name. I don't even use my real name. I don't even use my real fucking name. I use my dog's name. Gallagher's not my last name. That's my fucking dog's name. It's because I want to do this shit without anyone knowing.
And that's what I was gonna ask. Like, how do you deal with the different personalities? Like, you deal with the people who want the fame. You have her that just like low key. Get away from me.
It's that human aspect, man. Like, it's something so many coaches lack that everyone gives them credit for.
Look, like at the same time, like I could say that every one of the ones which I've worked with since the beginning, like I'd say a year or 2 years or whatever, like worked from the ground up, including Ariel, she said it, there's a human aspect to it. Look, like I'll give you a guy's name is Simon Doyon. El Magnifico. I don't like, I'm sure that you've seen him come in with the Lucha Libre. Okay, watch.
What's going on?
Okay, watch. He's a character. And everybody doubted him. Why? Because he's not the most muscular guy in the world. But he can throw down. He can fight, man. He works his ass off in Firaz's jiu-jitsu classes. He does his boxing. Like, he does his striking with me. And he has improved leaps and bounds, He won last year, I think, like an amateur MMA title. And then he lost it. And, like, I'll tell you why he lost it. Because he didn't want to back away from the fight on the same night because he had ate a poke bowl, I think it's called.
Yeah, something like that.
And it went bad in his stomach, and he had diarrhea like before he was called up.
I'm sure he's gonna appreciate you telling this.
I don't give a shit. Because nobody knows this, but like he laughs about it now, but to show how much of a warrior spirit like he had, like I know like it wasn't the smartest thing because I told him, listen, like if you want me to call off the fight, I don't give a shit. Like 10 minutes before, you're sick, like you're fucking white, like you don't feel good, like you went to the bathroom because he had food poisoning. He told me himself, because being a smart coach, like I told him, no man, like I'm gonna go to the promoter right now, it's gonna suck, like it's gonna look bad, but I don't want you getting in there sick. He pleaded to me, he goes, Coach, I came to Quebec, I'm gonna fight this fucking guy. I am gonna defend my title. And I asked him again, and you can ask him, and you can bring him here. And I asked him numerous times. I said, are you sure, Simon? Because you're not looking good, you're not feeling good, and I'm not feeling good, like, to let you in that cage. Not because you might lose. I don't give a shit. Like, I don't want you to get injured.
Yeah.
Because MMA, like I said, you don't play it.
Yeah.
So he's there, no, coach, like, I'm going to do it. So he went back to the bathroom. He did what all he had to do. He came in. He did well the first 2 rounds. And then, like, he, lack of energy,
Yeah,
drained
yeah.
out. Nobody knows this till now. Like I just told you guys, and if you ask him, Simo, and maybe like in the future podcast, like if ever you like, you want me to bring him around, he's a funny character.
I
But
only want him around if he's bringing the mask.
that's fine.
Yeah.
Like I posted something I think last week. Like
Yeah.
he came to the gym with the Lucha Libre hat, and I'm there,
Love it.
man. Look what the hell I gotta deal with. Now he's got a title fight April 6th at the NFL Fight League in Quebec, so he's prepping for this. Like we keep it. We keep it discreet. Of course, like we put out a bit of videos, but not enough so the other coaches are gonna.
Yeah.
So I think like he's gonna do well, and he deserves another title shot because he's always been in the top 5 and he brings that entertainment.
Yeah.
He's the showman. She's more like the screw this, I want to knock somebody's block
it's
off.
dope.
Then I got Katuma, which is down to earth, but he's a riot too. Like he's funny as hell, but just his look and his girth, man, he's 6'4", 240 pounds of
Yeah,
raw
I see him
muscle.
on the streets. I would
You
cross
know?
the street. I'd be
You know?
like, nah.
But if you get to speak to Katuma, like you're gonna have barrel of laughs with him. Like he's so human, he's down to earth. He's a family man. He just recently got a kid, so now
He got a kid.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So now he has to generate like family time, training time, is that, but it's a process. And I told him, I go, listen, like you can't jump from this to go pro because he's athletically gifted and he's a fighter. It shows like he will not go down. But the thing is, he's got to work with more like strategic stuff, like more sprawl and brawlings, more movement, more this that, and that's what we're doing. So now he's doing a lot of pro sparring with a lot of the best guys in the TKO. So like make a long story short, like we came back from Rio to John F. I think it was a 16-hour flight. We get to the gate, we're late. I was fed up with traveling, so me and Firaz, like we said, fuck it, like we're gonna rent a car. I said, okay, bro, like I was on adrenaline, like I hadn't slept, so I said, fuck it, like I'm gonna drive from JFK to Montreal, like to Dorval. So he slept. We took a car. We drove 6 hours like to the border. Now we get to the border.
Oh.
2 males with our face. So like the lady comes up to us, goes, hey, so where are you guys coming from? And I made the mistake of saying Rio de Janeiro.
Shit.
But I'm exhausted. Like, I'm there. Oh, fuck. So she's there. Really? Rio? Car? Oh, I said, no. Look, like, we flew from Rio to John F. We missed the plane. We rented a car. We came down. Excuse me, sir. Wait right there. So, they're, holy shit, So, for me, like, I'm exhausted. Like, I just drove an extra 6 hours. And I didn't think of saying, listen, like, we're driving from John F. Kennedy Airport. So, of course, like, they would have let us go right away. Then it was like, fuck, like, we just came from Rio. She's like, no way. Like, you can't drive from Rio to here. So,
this guy's
Yeah. Check the trunk. Yeah. Open it up.
So, long story short, like, there was another customs agent which was walking around the car, of course. I mean, like, the States, like, are very special, so, like, so they walk around, they check up on us, and, luckily, the guy was a UFC fan, so he recognized Firaz because he had watched the UFC on Saturday, saying, hey, like, you're not the coach to Vitor Belfort? So Firaz goes, yes, like, I'm the TriStar head coach. So the guy goes, oh, hey, how are you, blah, blah, blah. So thank God for that, we used his stardom, so we had no problems. Like, we stayed there 5 minutes, we chit-chatted about the fight. Thank you, sir. Good night. And we went to Dorval, and I got my lift back home. But it's a journey. It's like I keep on saying it. Like people say, oh, Sandro, like you went to Rio. Wow, like it must have been amazing. I said, what was crazy was the journey. To get there and to come back was the crazy ass stories. Like I was in Rio, and I was assigned a bodyguard. It's like, who would have known this? It's like... We're in Rio de Janeiro, and every time I had to step out to the beach, like I was assigned a bodyguard to walk along me. Like if I had to go jogging on the beach, the guy had to follow me. If I went to the corner store to go buy bread or whatever, like I had some treats, the guy followed me.
It's a fun time to fuck with someone.
It's craziness.
Hey, what's up? Get him.
You know,
Get 'em.
so it's crazy. Like I had a guy from Rio de Janeiro there, you know, and was all the guy like he didn't speak a word of English nor French nor nothing,
Wow.
and we communicated through sign language, you know. So he was appointed by Vitor Belfort's team, saying when Coach Sandro leaves, you follow him. Like if he wants to go to the store, you go to him store. Like if he wants to go train outside, and I felt bad because I don't need a bodyguard. Like, I
Yeah.
felt like a piece of shit. Like, I'm there. Dude, like, if you want to go back to the hotel, leave. Get out of here. And he said, no, no, no. Like, you don't understand. Like, the kids here, 13, 14 years old, will pull a gun on you, knowing you're not from here, because I was wearing, like, the UFC stuff.
Yeah.
And they will rob your phone, and they will, like, I think, like, you read about this. Like, in Rio,
Yeah.
like, the UFC employees did the mistake to go sit on the beach around 11:30 p.m.,
Yeah.
and a group of kids from Rio, kids, no joke,
Yeah.
14, 15, 16. They came there, and those guys were actually playing poker, like on the beach, with their cell phones, like on the tables. And kids pulled out a gun and said, listen, like, you guys are going to give us our money. And this, I guess you guys heard about it, like, on social media.
Yeah.
And the guys got robbed, and luckily nobody jumped the kids because somebody could have got really hurt.
Yeah.
To give you the story about that, I was jogging on the beach at 11:30 p.m. because
Oh,
I was
crazy.
bored.
Yeah.
Like, you know, when, like, you're fight week, you have to be with your fighter. You got to cut weight with your fighter.
Yeah.
So basically, like, you're not there on vacation.
No.
You're there. Your fighter wants to go to do pad work at 3 in the morning. Get up, go do
Yeah.
pad work at 3 in the morning. Fighter has to go cut weight, and he's got another couple of pounds to cut. Coach has to follow. So that's why, like, I like to say, like, if you go to war, the coach goes to war with you, especially in this game, you know. So
Yeah, that's
it's
insane.
crazy,
though.
but like, I got stories until tomorrow morning, man. And
Jesus.
that was one with Vitor, you know. So.
Especially now that he's in one championship.
Yeah,
I
like,
thought he
he's
was gonna
in
be
one.
done though. I
No,
thought,
well, you know, like I had conversations with Vitor, and he didn't like the way he finished his career, which he's, you know, like he's totally right. You know, like
Yeah.
stuff like that happens. You know, like I'm not gonna give no excuses. He had a great training camp.
Yeah.
Of course, he has injuries. Like he's like a muscle car. You know, like what he's done and accomplished
fight since
at-
19 years old.
at 42 years old, fighting Machida, and he had a bad knee. You know, like I'm gonna be transparent, man. Like
Yeah.
he couldn't kick. He could not kick. He had a torn fucking knee, man. So he had to keep it standing. So in his mindset was like, should I go? Shouldn't I go? Should I go? So
Okay.
spoke maybe a month ago or something, and you know, like we keep in touch. Like we're very human.
Yeah.
And no, like I think he wants to end it on a good
high
taste,
note,
you know, like
yeah.
on a high note, which he deserves, man. Like, he was the youngest UFC champion ever,
Yeah.
and
man.
he's a fighter. You know, like we can call him a mixed martial artist, but Vitor is a human being and a fighter. You know, so I wish him all the best against Roy Jones. Like it's gonna be a legendary boxing
Man,
match.
if that happens, like
Yeah,
that's-
dude, like it's
that's gonna be crazy.
it is happening.
Like it's gonna happen.
It's happening. Like Vitor will be fighting Roy Jones Jr. When, where, don't know.
I'm probably gonna faint during
But
that.
it's gonna
I'm
happen.
gonna like, pass out.
You know,
like, can't
you
take
know,
it.
like it's something which you know, like it's gonna be a fun fight to watch. You know,
Yeah.
like I know like, there's gonna be a lot of criticism because an MMA fighter's gonna cross over to boxing
Again.
again.
Yeah.
Exactly. The thing about that, you know, it's like if you want my opinion on that, a lot of MMA fighters cross over for the boxing world. But when was the time you ever seen a boxer cross over to the MMA world besides
I think,
James Toney?
yeah, against
exactly.
Randy. Yeah.
But other than that, like, have you ever seen like some other guys do it? No.
No.
You know, but you know, so you can say what you want, but MMA fighters are game to go wherever and fight. You know, so
Yeah.
that's where I respect the fighter sense. This strategic sense is not so good. You know,
Well, MMA fighters will do that a lot, and that's what you did too. MMA fighter, and then you went to WCA would just stand up kickboxing.
Yeah.
There you eliminate the leg kicks, which obviously that's your butter and bread right there. You eliminate the
don't
leg
get me
kicks.
going.
You eliminate the wrestling. There's a lot of stuff that's eliminated. So you know, like you said, for MMA artists, you switch, and like you switch, especially for that fight, which is obviously you know you're gonna take it whatever.
Yeah.
That's hard for you because you're like a mixed martial artist. Every single component of fighting, and now you're going to a game that's like very limited. You can't do this. You can't do that. And the leg kicks, especially kicking component, that's your butter and bread right there.
See, that was
I
so
like the
annoying,
challenge
man.
of that stuff, though.
I was gonna mention.
For me, it's like everything I do. It's like whenever I think about, it, I'm like, all right, I could do this, but how can I make it this much harder? How can I make it this much more difficult for myself? Because I don't want to stay on just a level playing field, just doing the same shit all the time. It's like you're never gonna progress that way.
True.
So for me, it's like that's why I was taking fights too big for myself. That's why I take fights where it takes away some of my tools and stuff because I want those challenges. Yeah, it's mental conditioning. It's like the fight game. It's like yeah, it's physical, but it's also mental. And for me, it's like those hard fights are the ones I always ask for because I knew those are the ones I'm gonna learn from. Those are the ones that are gonna make me that much better. I never asked for easy fights. I always asked for the hard opponent. I always asked for the person who's too experienced for me. Because if I'm just looking to get my ego stroked, it's like I'm not gonna get fucking anywhere. Like if I want to get better, I'm gonna pick the fights that are hard, knowing there's a good chance I'm gonna lose, knowing that win or lose, at the end of the day, all right, you get a few minutes of satisfaction of winning. All right, so fucking what? Win or lose, tomorrow I still have to go back in the gym. I still have to train all the same shit. I still have to get ready for the next one. Like, nothing changes. So it's like, test yourself, push yourself. Don't be a little pussy and just want it easy. It's like, life ain't fucking easy. Maybe for some people, but yeah, it shows in their lack of character. So people are too scared to be made uncomfortable. I love being made uncomfortable. I love making myself uncomfortable.
And like that's what we liked about Ariel because we said like it's gonna be a different rule set. So we said like let's like take on this challenge, you know. And it's not a question of being afraid because some people talk a lot of stupid shit.
Yeah.
Oh well, she's afraid to continue to fight like at the WCA.
Yeah.
No, like it's a question of like taking upon challenges. So she chose K1. She loves and she thrives on low kicks. She wants to become a pro in K1. She wants to continue in her training in mixed martial arts. For me, the WCA is a great organization, very, very well run, very professional. But it was a task for her, and to my opinion, like it was a challenge. Like I said, listen, like this is a different rule set. It's just like if I bring you to Thailand. In Thailand, like I'm sure, like you know, the scoring system is very different. Like the scoring system is not about combos, low kicks, and punches. It's about clinches. It's about sweeps. Like it's about middle kicks. Like it's a hell of a different scoring system. So she could be a great fighter, but if you bring her to Thailand with that rule set, it's gonna go completely against somebody which has a K1 mindset. You know, at the WCA, to my opinion, she won the war. She lost the match.
Yeah.
She won the war. She lost the match. Why? And I was told afterwards. I said, listen, like she lost the match on points. But I think she gave a hell of a fight. It was like it was the most entertaining fight of the night, to my opinion, and also, I said it, man. Like the rule set, just sometimes it changes, and that's what could mess with a fighter's mindset.
And even then, the rules that didn't bother me at all. Like I was fine with it. My body just wasn't able to keep up that day. I mean, I've had severe asthma my whole life, so it's something I'm used to. I've been in and out of the emergency room more times than I could ever possibly remember. So, and I have a hard time calling myself an athlete because I was never athletic. I'm not a naturally gifted person. I'm just fucking stubborn, and I want to beat your ass. I don't care what form it comes in. I just want to be better than you. And I want to be better than myself more than any, like, beating someone else. Like, I want to always do better than what I did last time.
Yeah.
If you beat me last time, it's because I didn't do enough for myself. So I need to beat myself of the person I was the last time. And if I do that, then I'll beat you. But it's like, I knew with my asthma the way it is, like, it's pretty under control now because I bust my ass to make sure of it. But I always knew it was going to come out one day in a fight. I knew one day it was going to catch up to me, and unfortunately that night it did. But if it weren't for Sandra, I wouldn't have even made it through the rest of the fight. Like, halfway through that second round, I knew something was wrong, but I was just so in the zone, I didn't recognize what it was. Wow. Even though I know exactly what the fuck about it. I knew I was having an asthma attack, but I was just so in that moment. I
She
didn't
fought
acknowledge
that
it.
fourth round
What?
with an asthma attack.
I
That's something which nobody knows.
I like when I went back.
Just
That,
between us.
yeah, like
Oh,
when I
yeah.
went back to that. When I went back to my
Just between
corner,
us.
man. When I went back to my corner, I just looked and I was like, I'm dead. Like I don't know. Like I have nothing. There's nothing. Like I feel like I can't stand. I can't move. He's like, you have it in. You have one more fucking round. You have it. And I never felt more fucking dead before. Like, there's no way I would have willingly quit. I would never just walk from the fight. But physically, I just didn't feel like I could actually get up. But he just got me. He's like, no, you need to stand. Stand and don't say it like you can keep going. It's only a few more. Keep going. And in the back of my head, I'm like, I'm not the kind of person I'll ever say, like, I'm done, I'll give up. But it's just physically, my body did not feel like it was going to be able to carry me. But
it was survival mode.
in
Like,
my
that fourth round
head,
was
all I
survival
can
mode.
think is, he's saying I got this round, that means I have this fucking round in me. If he sees I still have the round in me, I still have it. So all I was thinking is, he said it, that means it's happening, I'm going to fucking do it. He said to do the round, I'm going to fucking do it. I don't care if I'm literally in the process of dying, I'm getting this round out because he told me to. But that's why having such a solid relationship with your coach makes such a difference. Because in those really dark, difficult moments, it's that person who's going to make you realize that you have more to give than you think you do. So, I mean, man, the result, like we keep saying, that loyalty, it goes a long way. It's not just a matter of getting wins. It's like, in those moments when you really don't think you have anything left, it's like, that's where that relationship matters. Yeah. It's not a matter of what your record looks like. It's when you get into those horrible spots, it's like, who's there to help you get past it? It's like this fucking coach you've been with for a couple months, and you keep bouncing around different... Like, you don't have that relationship, and it's like, you're not going to have that trust. Yeah. For me, it's like, I knew something was horribly wrong. I knew that physically something was going really wrong, and I wasn't sure what. Like, reflecting on it, I know exactly what it was. It was the asthma, but in the moment, I was just confused. I didn't understand why I had no energy. But all I could think was, I have to do that round. He wants me to do the round, I have to do this round, and nothing else matters. Win or lose, I don't care, as long as I get through the round. And I barely was able to get out of the ring on my own. I almost fell down the stairs trying to get out.
Yeah, like I
We got around to the back, and
Holy
the
shit.
stairs to go back up to the stage and go behind. My boyfriend picked me up and carried me because I couldn't walk anymore. We got around the curtain before I had to, like, just sit down. And then my boyfriend carried me upstairs, and the second we got in that room, I started puking my fucking guts out. I puked for probably almost half an hour, trying to get my asthma under control and everything, and that's when finally the doctor there was like, no, we have to call you the ambulance. I was fighting with it. I was like, I don't want to go. I kept telling him, I was like, yeah, I understand this looks bad. I've been here so many times. I know what I can handle. I'll be okay if you just let me chill a bit. And he kept, eventually I went because they kept insisting. Honestly, it was him and my other coach, Blake, that finally were like...
Must have been like
but if it weren't for that, I kept telling the fucking doctor too, I was like, legit, I got my fucking weed in the truck. You let me go smoke, calm the fuck down, I'll be fine. But no, to make them happy, I went. So I spent the night, but I was puking blood that night and everything, just because I tore my esophagus trying to breathe and stuff. But I've done it. It's not a good thing to have done it that many times, but I've been there so many times. I know what I can handle. Like, so that's why I wasn't scared. And everybody else was fucking terrified for me. But I literally hid in a trash can, puking, thumbs up, like I'm good. I'm fucking good. Just give me a minute.
Well, see, like the reason why that I gave her that last push, like in the last round, like some people criticized me and some people said, coach, like you're rough, this, that. I've seen her go through this in the gym. That's why, because like she just said, loyalty, you know what the fighter's capable of doing. And I knew she had it in her to finish that round. And I knew like she didn't have no more pop, but I knew she could have got up from that stool and finish up. I knew it because I've seen it in the gym many times. Now, of course, it's not a pretty sight. Of course, people that pay their tickets to watch, they're, oh my God, You don't know what a fighter goes through, like, behind closed doors. You don't know what a fighter goes through in training camp. You have no fucking clue. Some fighters train with broken bones, and, like, they're gonna go through their, like, training camp. So I knew she could have went through that. So the people that knew me knew what decision I took, and the people that criticized me just don't know shit about coaching.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you gotta know your individual. If I knew she was at a risk of really, like, her eyes were flipping back and pale as a ghost, I would have stopped it dead there in the tracks. But I was speaking to her, she was speaking back to me, her eyes were okay. But the only thing she was saying, like, Coach, I'm fucking tired. I said, fuck the tired stuff. You've lived this in the gym many times, and you know what this is. You got to give me an extra 2 minutes. That's it. So she got up, she finished like a warrior, and consequences come after. But it's nothing which she hadn't already done, like to puke in a freaking trash can or like to go get checked. We insisted her to go to the hospital because it's the smart thing to do.
Yeah, exactly.
But other than that, you know, it's like the average Joe like is gonna say, "Oh, like you guys are crazy." Well, fighters are not average Joes.
Nope.
You know, like
We're not going in that fucking ring
like-
to pay patty cake. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
I know,
That's
I
it.
know the chances I'm fucking taking. Like, I take those willingly.
they train to go against another human being that's willing to do bodily harm to them. So that's why I keep on saying, like, you don't play fighting, man. So they're special types of individuals, you know. So also people say, "Oh my God, that's crazy, Coach." Yeah, but you're signing up to get punched in the face and kicked in the mouth. What do you think it is? You know, it's like you're not throwing a football, which is like tough as nails too.
Yeah.
But fighting is something else, man. It's like you're going up against another individual that could send you to the hospital. You know, that he or she's gonna hurt you. So it's like she said, it's like she been through this before. So as a coach, like I said, I was a bit criticized, but that's fine. Like that comes with the game.
Yeah,
But if you're not willing to take those chances, sometimes you'll never see gold. You know, so, and we've been so close to gold so many times. In Drummondville, I think it was 2 weeks before like your MFL K1 fight, that we went to Drummondville to fight for a title, which we know we are going into somebody else's backyard. We're fighting that promotion's champion. And if you're in the business, as long as I have, you know this very well. When you go into somebody else's backyard and it's their promotion, it's their champion, you're already fighting not only your opponent, but the promotion and the referee. And it was very well done. It was very fair, but you do not expect to go there winning by a mile. So we got a draw. So when we got a draw, I said, when you go out of town into these places that are run by their own family members, and you get a draw, it's like you beat the person. So they couldn't say you lost. It's impossible. So I said, no worries. Like, don't take this as a draw. Like, you take this as a victory. Because if they would have fought, like, on neutral grounds, like, it would have been a whole different story. Then we went to MFL. We fought for the MFL championship, and she won the fight. So, you know, it's a journey, you know. So.
And even the fights, like in Drummondville, it's like, it was a job. I wasn't disappointed with it at all because I had a fun fight. I really respect my opponent. Claudia's a great opponent. She's a true martial artist. She's good, she's a sweetheart. I don't know her that well, but the bit I have met her, she seems like a sweetheart, a really genuine person. That's the sort of opponent I like. Because win or lose, we're in there because we want to be, not because we have to be. I'm in there because I enjoy being in there. I'm in there because I enjoy fighting. So to fight someone who feels the same, and then at the end of the day, we can, you know, hug, appreciate each other. It's no hard feelings. Like, I'm cool with that. Like, I'm cool with the fact it was a draw, and now we get to look forward to another fight. So hopefully that one comes up in June, and I know I'm looking forward to it. I'm sure she is too. So, no, it'll be good. I like those sort of opponents. I like that. I don't know, it's more enjoyable for me when I go in. Like, it's literally just fun when I go in, and it's like, I actually really dig this person. It's like I'm fighting with my bud. Like, I love that. Like, it was the same thing with my K1 fight with Adrienne. Another example of, like, someone who doesn't bitch and moan about rules or anything like she's there because she wants to fight because she enjoys it. Her and Claudia are both like that, and I love those kind of people. Those are the fights that are the funnest. Because then it's like in the middle of the fight when, like, Adrian's shin guard's all fucked up and stuff. we just stop, we're laughing about it, everyone's having a time, like, no pressure, no stress, it's just fun. And I feel like that translated in the way I fought that night. I went in feeling so collected, so just in the moment, and just I never felt better in a fight. And I feel like it showed because I don't think I've really ever fought as strategically as I did and everything. And I ended up putting on a great performance and finally winning that belt that I've been chasing forever. It's like that moment where it's like you think about it every fucking day, and it's always like, be nice, but like you don't know if that'll ever happen.
Yeah.
So when you finally have that moment where it's like, holy fuck. That's why I was as soon as they announced I won, I just head in the hand. It's like holding back the tears. It's like, all right, like you've imagined this moment so much, and it's like, just feel it. just embrace it and everything. So, but yeah, it's like, yeah, it was great to win and everything. I enjoyed it. I went home, stuffed my face with chocolate, and wore the belt around my house for a couple days. And then get right back in the gym and just keep going because it doesn't stop there. I've got a real problem with it. I don't know why. It seems like a lot of times in amateur, it's like the fighter will train hard, they'll get the belt, and then all of a sudden they get comfy after that, winning that belt. And it's like, well, I don't necessarily want to fight again right away. It's like, yeah, I know it's kind of fun wearing it, but are you really a champ until you've defended it?
Exactly, yeah.
That's why as soon as we fought, I told her right away, I was like, anytime you want that rematch, you've got it. She wanted it, and she's got it, man. We're gonna throw down again, I think, next month. Possibly on the 20th for MFL 11. And that's just it. It's like, people like that are awesome to fight with.
Yeah. That's it. You see, like, that's why I like that. Because she doesn't give a shit about the belt. Like, she goes, okay, like, let's fight again. So it's just another fight. Like, I'm sure, with people that have so many fights, like in Thailand, or people like the boxers that come from Cuba, man, like, they have 300 to 500, like, amateur fights. For them, it's like, okay, let's have a coffee. So let's go fight again. Like, I want these guys to get so nonchalant about stepping in a ring and throwing down that it's going to be their comfort zone. Like I said, calm and chaos.
Exactly, yeah.
So they're going to be so comfortable going in there that she won't think about defending a belt. Like, it's just going to be another fight. And that's where her progression is going to get there. And that's where her techniques are going to come out crisper. Like, her timing is going to be on point. Her angles are going to be on point. Her feints are going to be on point, like her spectacular motion is going to be on point. So it's just that, and like I said, like, what makes a champion is staying a champion, so. And we're going to try to get that rematch with you and Claudia, but this is something which I'm going to ask to get her on neutral ground. Like, I don't want to
put you in there,
like, to go back there again at their house, and then, like, you got to worry about the judging, you got to worry about the promotion. Like, I want to make it neutral ground this time. Like, if you want to fight, we'll fight you. But we came to your house now. Now it's your time to come to ours.
And this is why he's the coach, because I'm more like,
let's go back.
It's like,
she wants to
go back.
But,
I'll go back. It's cool.
Like, this is how I see shit. So this is how I look at it. And, like, some guys say, coach, like, nah, man. Like, you got to look at it, like, intelligently, too, It's like, fighters will fight anywhere, at any time, and whoever. But at the end of the day, it's like, you got to look at it. It's like, you got to place those chess pieces. Like, why are we going to go back there? For what? So then, like, we're going to be climbing up a mountain again? Nah, man. Like, I want to fight on a level playing field with people that don't know her.
And let's throw down.
Man. That's it. And there's no, like, okay, you have to do this. You're not allowed to do that. Nah, man. Straight up K1 kickboxing rules. Low kicks. Let's do it, man.
Fuck. So it's been great, man. It's been like almost an hour. It's been an hour, and it felt like 5 minutes. So it wasn't that bad, right? It wasn't that bad.
Well, that's why I like bringing him, because I know he likes to talk, so it takes some pressure off.
Yeah, it was good. That hour feels like 3 minutes.
Because I got a shitload of stories.
Man. That's why we need you back, man. We need you guys back. We're going to talk more, man. It's not enough, but, man, thank you guys.
Sitting and having coffee with him and his old man. You should see them two talking over each other.
Man. We just put a camera and a mic, and we're good. So thank you guys. I really appreciate you guys coming down.
Thank
It's my pleasure, man.
We're definitely going to talk later. later on. And then when we get that fight, let me know, and I got to see that live. So let me know on that fight.
Hell yeah.
My pleasure, Emil. Like
Thank you, guys.
it's always an honor, brother.
Thanks, guys.